UnitedIn2012.com presents the 2012 Value Survey by the Pew Research Center asked Americans 48 political, value-driven questions. UnitedIn2012.com arranged them in descending order of the greatest percentage difference between Democrat and Republican response. This video, we are on the number 5 issue with the largest percentage difference between Democrat and Republican response, and it was to this statement: the government should guarantee every citizen enough to eat and a place to sleep. Now, on this kind of welfare statement, the government should guarantee every citizen enough to eat and a place to sleep. There was a 74% percentage difference between Democrat and Republicans. 78% of Democrats agreed that yes, the government or taxpayer should guarantee every citizen enough to eat and a place to sleep, whereas only 36% of Republicans agreed with that. If we had a bridge that represented compromise, how much of the bridge would be left to begin to connect each side? Well, in this case, the bridge is largely out at 74%. Now, how a Democrat might think in key areas that go into forming their view on guaranteeing food and shelter. The logic may say the ends justify the means. People who have means should pay for those who cannot afford food and shelter. A country as rich as America can eliminate homelessness and starvation. Their view of capitalism and government is often that capitalism is the pursuit of greed and selfishness, whereas government is a force that can restore fairness and equality. Their perception of history may be that capitalism and discrimination has brought about much inequality and injustice. On the right side, with their emotions, they may say, I am highly empathetic to the poor and disadvantaged. I see the people in the lower rungs of society struggle. I am concerned about the well-being of people and want to see positive change. Their view of self and others may be it is my responsibility to take care of myself and the less fortunate. I can become frustrated when other people don't think they should have to give back to the poor. Their hopes, dreams, and goals may be to have a country where every American has a fair shot. And the heart of the Democrat often says, well, I have some control of my life. Society has a larger influence on whether I succeed or fail. And this is why the Democrat is communally focused. Now, how a Republican might think in key areas that go into forming their view on guaranteeing food and shelter is a lot different from the Democrat. Their logic may be the reason America is rich to begin with is because it was built upon free enterprise, not handouts. Entitlements are bankrupting the nation, they often argue. This goes beyond guaranteeing food and shelter. Then the free riders will start to complain about how their free shelter and food is not good enough. Meanwhile, hard-working Americans will have to work even harder to give to those who do nothing but expect something from their neighbor. Their view of capitalism and government is often the opposite of the Democrat. They do not see capitalism as the pursuit of selfishness and greed, but rather as the pursuit of life, liberty, and happiness. And they see government as a suppressive force that should be limited, just as the Founding Fathers instructed. Their perception of history is welfare countries have always gone bankrupt. The success of America is in free enterprise, not limitless handouts. On the emotion side, they often say success should come to the hard-working and those who try. I am tired of my family having less, so those who don't even try or make poor decisions can have more and more and more. If you have self-centered others, it is my responsibility to take care of the helpless. It is not my responsibility to take care of those who don't try or make bad decisions. This is the idea of the pursuit of my life, liberty, and happiness, not to be a slave to someone else. As far as hopes, dreams, and goals, to be as successful as I can using my individual talents and to have enough to give to charity, not to government for redistribution and more in taxes. The heart of the Republican, not so communally focused like the Democrat. They rather say I am in charge of my life. Whether I fail or succeed is up to me. And a review of the Democrat. Democrat says we as a society have a responsibility to meet everyone's basic needs. And they see as active government needs to make sure that basic needs are met for every American, such as shelter and food. And the Republican says we as individuals have a responsibility to meet our own needs. They will argue that success should be reserved for the hardworking. We are responsible for our own lives. I should not have to work harder and have less because I'm forced by an active government to give my hard work to someone who doesn't try and or makes bad decisions. The poor will have no incentive to work if they get everything from the taxpayer for free. UnitedIn2012.com. Come check us out for the rest of our Pew Research Value Countdown.